What is going on, everybody? Hope you've been doing fantastic. Wanted to let you know that April 15th and 16th, I'm going to be opening up for my brother DubFX in Seattle, April 15th at Nectar Lounge, and Portland, my hometown, April 16th at Star Theater. It's going to be epic. Super excited about those gigs. And also 33, aka Derek Bros, will be opening up as well. So really looking forward to that. And then after that, all three of us are going to be mobbing out to beautiful Bandera, Texas, to Sovereignty Ranch for Confluence. If you're not familiar with Confluence, I highly recommend coming to this event. It's one of my favorite events that I've ever been to. Last year was my first year there, and it is just the most beautiful, conscious, like-minded, vibrant community I've ever had the pleasure of being a part of. Alex Zek, the homie, is putting this event together along with a really amazing crew, amazing speakers like Charles Eisenstein, amazing musicians, DubFX, of course, and several others from all over the world. We have some musicians coming in from Australia. It's gonna be super fun. So that is April 23rd to 26th. I'll be playing Saturday night, the night of the 25th. So yeah, you're not gonna wanna miss any of those gigs. If you happen to be in Portland or Seattle, once again, it is April 15th in Seattle at Nectar Lounge. Amazing venue, indoor, outdoor. And then April 16th, Star Theater in Portland. We played both of these venues last summer with the same crew, Presence, 33, DubFX, and it was just a really good vibe all the way around. So stoked to be going back there. And then once again for Confluence, it is April 23rd to 26th. Going up a hill here, so apologize, I'm a little out of breath. But yeah, it's gonna be a good one. And also wanted to let you know that today is the launch of my Airbnb short-term rental property management passive income mastermind. Some of you might see me rolling around in my fancy van, using all this expensive music equipment, building studios and rigs and all this kind of stuff, and be wondering, how does this guy make a living? How does he support himself? And I'm going to be teaching that in this course, 12 weeks, starting today, 12 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, Phoenix, Arizona time, to 1:30. The first hour roughly is going to be myself presenting the information. The last half an hour will be a Q&A so people can get their questions answered. But I'm going to be taking people on a journey from front to back, start to finish, on how to source properties, how to find that need in the market, that gap in the market where people are, struggling to rent their home. Maybe they have it listed for long-term rental, or maybe it's a short-term rental already that's not doing as well as it could be doing, has poor photos, has poor marketing. And you come in as the expert in the field with a skill set that I will teach you of how to optimize a property from the marketing to the listing, to the cleaning team, to the maintenance team, to the back end, the pricing, the automation of guest messages, and everything in between, so that you can take all the stress off of a property owner. You don't have to own the properties yourself. You can simply provide a valuable skill to people who need this skill, and then you can take a commission on all of the income that this property makes. And if you do a good job, then you might have years and years, potentially decades, of working with these clients. And once you set everything up and automate everything in the ways that I teach in this course, it turns into passive income, where you can focus more on the fulfillment of your highest dreams and goals in life, and being able to have the energy that's required to offer something of value to the world. So anyways, that starts today. Really excited about it. Been planning this for a long time. Have over 15 people signed up already, and I think it's going to be really good. Hopefully by the end of it, there will be several, if not all, of the students starting their own businesses, getting their first listings, and setting everything up so that they have more financial freedom to pursue their highest purpose in life. So yeah, once again, if you're interested in this and you want to jump in last minute, there will be replays of all the calls as well. But if you want to jump in, then shoot me an email, grant@presencemusic.com, with the subject line mastermind. And yeah, it's going to be great. But yeah, otherwise, just wanted to say thank you to everybody who's been supporting the music, streaming the music. Yesterday, I got to link up with a couple friends, Sierra Marin and Trev Mental, who came into town playing a chocolate tree in the garden, and they're both amazing musicians. Sierra's a multi-instrumentalist, songwriter, producer, vocalist, looping artist, and she was throwing down some amazing looping jams, and Trev has some of the illest bars you've ever heard in your whole life. He almost reminds me of like a conscious Flatbush Zombies, something like that, or like Illuminati Congo, but with much faster flows, that kind of vibe. So amazing. If you haven't heard of his music, check him out. Trev Mental and Sierra Marin. Got to get on the mic yesterday and jam with them a little bit. It was fun. And I think we might be cooking up some tunes together in the studio tomorrow. So looking forward to that. Also, Rhea Light just moved back to Sedona as well. And we got a new tune cooking up that I've played out a few times. Played it at People's Reset, played it at the Sedona Ecstatic Dance, played it, where else? On my most recent live stream that I did for Funnel, Freedom Under Natural Law. If you want to check that out, I'll put a link down in the description. But that was a really fun one. And yeah, I think, I've been really grateful and stoked to see all of the interest in this kind of Skillshare economy and people getting interested in me sharing and teaching and, providing more value through my platform other than just the music. So I think I'm going to begin having some other offerings as well besides simply this Airbnb course. I want to do one on live looping with Ableton specifically, because a lot of people don't know that Ableton is an extremely powerful looper, and I've been using it for years now as the heartbeat of my looping rig. So teaching people how to set up, design their own looping instrument, basically using Ableton as the centerpiece, and then how to map MIDI controllers to all of the different effects and parameters that you want to set up, setting up all of the instrument input routing and output routing so that you can create a custom mix for your in-ears and hear yourself properly, and so that you can set up wireless systems for your instruments and be able to have all your instruments running through different effects chains so you can make everything sound really good like a professional record. One of the best compliments I ever received was from Headflux, Steve Young. The first time he heard me play last year at Confluence, he said, "It literally sounds like a record, but you're looping everything live." And I was like, wow, that means a lot coming from you, because he's one of my favorite record producers ever. So to get that from him really meant a lot to me. But that's what I want to teach in this looping course. And then another one that I had an idea for was how to shoot and edit your own music videos. I think this is something a lot of people could benefit from. You don't need super fancy camera gear like what I use. You could literally just use an iPhone and even a gimbal with an iPhone. That would be like $100 to put a gimbal on your phone, or something like what I'm shooting this video on right now. This is the DJI Osmo Nano. And teaching people with whatever budget they have how to get the best shots, how to plan the shots, right? How to find a good location to shoot, how to get the right lighting, how to get the proper camera settings set up, how to color match and get the cameras to all color match if you're using multiple cameras, right? And all these kind of things, how to get clean performance takes so that it looks like you're actually playing the instruments in the shot. And then that's all the shooting side, and then the editing side, how to create multicams inside of Final Cut Pro or whatever editing software you're using, how to quickly cut through a multicam and be able to, slice together all the different angles of the performance, how to make sure that the audio is coming through clearly, how to color grade the footage so that it all matches and is color corrected, how to use LUTs to get custom cinematic looks out of your footage. So that's another idea for another course that I want to offer. And then yeah, and then one other one too. I mean, there's loads of music production courses out there. I'm sure I could offer my own take to music production as a whole, beat making. But then one that I really want to do is like my actual vocal production workflow. How to record huge vocal stacks, which is something that I learned back in college when I was working with one of my first bands. And a couple of the guys in the band were really talented vocal producers. Shout out to my boy Cooper and Daniel, who we had a project called Fabric, but we started learning how to do this crazy vocal production workflow where you record like huge stacks of like 8, 12, sometimes 16 to 20 vocals, and then you pan them all different directions and create like essentially what's like a virtual choir of yourself. And then you tune everything, and you tune all these harmony layers. Sometimes you got 3-part harmonies, 4-part harmonies, stuff like that. You tune all the layers using multi-track Melodyne, and then what are the actual effects chains that you use to process all of that and get it sounding like a hit record. So that's another idea that I had for a course as well. But yeah, the goal of this isn't really to make money, it's just more to share more value to my audience. And I've definitely been really grateful for the support that I've received of just the limited amount that I've been putting out and offering this course about the passive income and Airbnbs and stuff like that. So I think it feels really exciting and fulfilling and fun to be able to share my skills with other creators, specifically creative type people like yourself watching this video, and do my best to make the skills that I've learned available to as many people as possible. Because in my opinion, right now we're in a spiritual war, and we need as many people hands on deck working towards creating the world that we know is possible all together, as many people as possible, using everybody's unique gifts and bringing them to the table and educating and inspiring and uplifting as many people as possible. So yeah, that's gonna be the end of this video. This is the end of the little trail that I'm taking the doggos on today. But thanks for tuning in. And yeah, once again, little plug for the shows that are upcoming. They're gonna be on my website as well. But April 15th, Nectar Lounge, Seattle, Washington. April 16th, Star Theater, Portland, Oregon, hometown show. Last year I had a kind of crazy situation with that where my rig got rattled loose from the heavy amount of bass. So I think I have that solved for this year so it won't happen again. But yeah, they have heavy bass there at Star Theater in Portland. And then April 23rd to the 26th, I'll be at Confluence, one of my favorite, if not my favorite event that I've ever been to. Shout out Alex Zek. And also once again, I'll be on this little tour run with DubFX and 33 Derek Bros. So yeah, it's gonna be epic. Super psyched for all of this upcoming goodness that's happening. And if you are in the mastermind, thanks for joining. And if you're interested in joining the mastermind, just shoot me an email, grant@presencemusic.com, subject line mastermind, and I'll send you the details. There's still time if you want to jump in. But yeah, ideally, you want to be on these calls live because then you can participate in the Q&A and you can feel the energy of all these inspiring humans who I've brought together to learn how to build more abundance together. So yeah, thanks for tuning into this video. Hope you have a beautiful day. We'll see you next time. Peace.